Welcome to Parnell Park for the last of this weekend's Dublin Senior Hurling Championship quarter-finals. Already today, Coola played Bridget's. I'm not going to tell you the score because it is available to watch in full on TG Cahir a little bit later on. So if you don't want to know the result of that game, I won't tell you. I won't spoil it for you. After this game, by the way, we've got the semi-final draw. If you're watching that, obviously, you'll know who won that game between Coola and St. Bridget's yesterday. Well, I presume you know all about that now. St. Vincent's crashing out, also going out. Folks, marching on after two relatively good performances. Nafina and also going through after a good win yesterday are the other semi-finalists who will be in the draw a little bit later today, which we will bring you live, and it should be a fairly good semi-final weekend on the 4th and 5th of September. But we have one more semi-finalist to decide here. It is Lucan against Kilmacud Crokes. I think it's fair to say Kilmacud Crokes are favourites to go through, but Owen O'Donnell, you just don't know, do you?
No, you don't know. I suppose Lucan probably are looking to the two Crummy brothers to do a lot of the scoring up front, and they're two big physical lads, so be hard stopped, but hard to look past such a talented Kilmacud team that they've a lot of firepower up in the forwards and then a couple of key backs there, so they're probably favourites into this game for a reason.
Yep, Nafina, Ballyboden, St. Bridget's or Coola in the semis already. Who'll join them? We'll find out today. It has to end today, by the way. Let's take a look at the teams. We'll start with Kilmacud Crokes. Great to see Mark Howard back. He's in good form as well. Oisín O'Rourke, he's the kind of guy who likes to come out and get the ball and turn, so Lucan will want to stop that if they can. Ronan Hayes and Alex Considine are two big lads. They can win ball as well. And then in the back line, a very experienced number 3 in the shape of Bill O'Carroll. Jamie Clinton has a lot of hurling under his belt as well. But Brian Sheehy, he might be young, but he's defied those young years with some of his performances this year. So there's a nice balance to that Crokes starting 15. What do you think, Owen?
Yeah, there's a balance all over is the right word. In the forwards, they have big fellas in Ronan Hayes and Alex Considine. They've Oisín O'Rourke in there that can win breaking ball and quick ball out in front. And then all three of their half forwards are well able to move, but also well able to win puck outs or any high ball that goes in. So a very, very strong forward line from Crokes out today.
Yep, and we might see a change or two to that starting 15. It's the same with Lucan, who we'll have a look at now. People think that Crokes are the overwhelming favourites here, but when I look at the amount of Crummies in that team and the amount of McCaffreys in that team, I think to myself, they have a chance.
Yeah, they definitely have a chance, and they'll be quietly confident coming into it. I know a lot of the lads in the Lucan team that they're very competitive, and they've had a couple of good games under the belt in the group, and against Vincent's last is a draw. So they're coming off the back of a couple of good performances. Whether they have enough firepower, I don't know. Chris and Paul have been doing a lot of the donkey work for them. They'll be looking to lads like Ben Coffey, and Peter Kelly is a good puck out winner, so they'll be looking to lads like that to step up today.
Well, Lucan Sarsfields have been senior for about 20 odd years now. They've never actually won a Dublin Senior Championship. For Kilmacud Crokes, it's been a long way. 2014, the last time they lifted the trophy. They've been in semi-finals and finals since. They've come very close, agonisingly close in fact, but they haven't been able to get their hands back on that cup. Is this the year for them? Well, the other teams left in it will have something to say. Bridget's or Coola, Ballyboden and Nafina. The semi-final draw coming up after this game, and that is the last mention of it you will hear from me. We'll also, by the way, have the draw for the Senior B semi-finals. That's a fairly hard-fought competition as well. The weather playing its part today. Owen, yesterday it was raining and it was breezy and it was kind of chilly. Today it's nice and warm and the sun is shining. Granted, we still have the breeze.
Perfect conditions. Like you said yesterday, the pitch was wet and slippy. Noel Brady had it in perfect condition, but once the rain kind of sticks on the surface, it can be quite hard to get your touch in. But today we should see no excuses. Small bit of a wind going down into the Clontarf golf course end, but I don't think it'll affect things too massively.
We shall stand for the anthem. Well, just in case you're unfamiliar with the teams, Lucan in the green and white jerseys with those black shorts and green and white socks. Kilmacud Crokes with the purple and gold. Already changes have been made. Paul Rigney is in from the start for Lucan. Mainly a defender, but he ran to midfield there. Just looking around the Crokes team, seeing if I can see any changes. Crokes with a lot of change in the last couple of years, in a sense that Ryan O'Dwyer isn't part of the scene anymore in a Senior A sense, and Niall Corcoran has returned to his home club, although he is still coaching around Crokes, also coaching the Laois Hurlers. Also in, by the way, for Lucan Sarsfields is Kevin Fitzgerald. So they've made a couple of late switches, have Lucan Sarsfields.
Yeah, Oisin, there's a lot of getting to know each other out there. I saw Chris land a big one on Keane McGowan straight away, and Johnny McCaffrey was stuck in as well. So Lucan are definitely going to try bring a physicality to this. Cian
McHugh, who has featured for Dublin in the footballing sense, is also in from the start. He's got great strength. No real surprise that any of those lads have come in. Bit of a fist pump there from Dylan Mulligan after Crokes won the free.
Yeah, Lucan definitely have stepped to tempo. I think nearly every Lucan player was giving the Kilmacud players a bit of stick before the game, so hopefully they can back this up now.
Here's Alex Considine. He's blocked down. He was converged upon there, but it does come to Mulligan. Mulligan somehow spills it outside. That's a really good block down by John McCaffrey. It does squirt its way back into Mark Howard, who's bearing it on goal. Doesn't get a clean strike on it, and it's easy meat for Killian Murray, the goalkeeper. He's put John McCaffrey in a bit of trouble there, but McCaffrey kept his head and won the free out. And there's a bit of getting to know you, as you want to call it, all over the pitch. Lucan are kind of sending the message, we're not standing back.
No, absolutely not. And that's two hooks and a block in the space of, or excuse me, 2 blocks and a hook in the space of the first minute there. So Lucan definitely up for this. Already there's a much more intense feel to the game today than there was yesterday. Everyone seems to be a lot more up for it.
Killian Murray, the goalkeeper, who's now 2 years in the senior panel. There's going to be a lot of breaking ball in this game. Maybe a few broken hurleys as well. That's really well tidied up by Fergal Whiteley. Whiteley launches it and hits the first wide of the game.
Yeah, Fergal had more time there. Someone of his calibre should be scoring them. Would have been a nice one just to settle into the game, but Fergal's been playing very, very well for Crokes this year, so he's one of the men Crokes will be looking to lead them on.
Trying to break it in the middle of the park there is Paul Rigney. Crokes sweep it hockey style down towards that 45. Good pull on it there by Paul Claffey, who's an experienced but young player. Claffey. Mark Grogan. I think it might have been a shot, but it will end up being a dropping ball inside, which the goalkeeper does well on, to be fair. John Bellew, who was the club player of the year last year, did extremely well for Lucan, just holding off the forward as he came in. But Oisin O'Rourke has it. Oisin O'Rourke tries to find a pass and cleverly wins a 65. I think he knew what he was doing there. If the pass went through, great, but he knew there was so much kind of pace on the ball, it would just bounce off the defender and go out for a 65.
Yeah, a nice one for Oisin to settle himself into the game. I see John Bellew has gone full back on Ronan Hayes, and that's going to be a good battle today. Ronan is a player that has always had the hurling the skill, and this year has really put some size on, and has been the kind of target man for Crokes in there. So John Bellew will have his hands full today.
Falls into the young but experienced bracket, Ronan Hayes. So it's Oisin O'Rourke. Gets really low over the ball when he's striking these frees, doesn't he? And that's the first point of the game, and Crokes lead by 1 point to no score. Collected by Bill O'Carroll, who leaves it behind now. Brian Sheehy comes in. He loses it. There's a real scramble here. Chris Crummy is over it, as is Paul Crummy. It's a real family effort, this, for Lucan. You've got the Crummies and the McCaffreys, and of course Sean McCaffrey is the manager of the team. Lucan looking for the equaliser from the experienced Peter Kelly, who we didn't even mention pre-game. We're mentioning him now because that was a really good score. He can do it wherever he is on the pitch, Peter Kelly, can't he?
Absolutely. He's all-star full back, and he's playing wing forward for Lucan today, and has been very unfortunate with injuries over the year, but it's great to see him back now the last couple of years, and he really is finding form this year.
Trying to get away is Quaylon Conway. Conway has a look up and a little chipped effort which goes over the bar. That's a really good score. Within about a minute and 10 seconds we've had 3 points. Matt McCaffrey. 3 go for it, all of them miss it. It's collected by Cian McGowan. O'Carroll, lovely stick pass to Fergal Whiteley. Mark Howard was in a spot of bother, got himself out of it, presented it to Mark Howard, or presented it to Fergal Whiteley. Whiteley had a swing and a miss earlier on, nothing wrong with that one, sticks it over.
No, that's 3 different scores for Kilmacud already, and that would be the worry for Lucan, that they can't maintain that intensity, and Kilmacud have that class all over the pitch that if you take your eye off them for a minute they will get scores.
Crokes with the line ball on a sunny day in Parnell Park. Swatted up by Claffey. Shows his experience, farms it away. Trying to collect it there, Chris Crummy. It's 1-on-1 inside, and O'Carroll has to be really careful here, but that's an excellent take by Paul Crummy. O'Carroll is fouling him, surely. Paul Crummy using his footballing skills and still going, runs into Matt Collins. He had the free coming. He was unlucky not to get a goal, but that was brilliant stuff from Paul Crummy, who was innovative in what he did there. Lost the hurley, but still was able to drive on.
That's been a tactic of Lucan so far this year. They've dropped everyone nearly outside their own 45 and have left Paul in there. And Paul is such a strong ball winner, that kind of ball in is dangerous. Chris hit that ball over his shoulder, didn't even look where he was hitting it, and knew Paul would be inside, so a good start for Paul.
It is dangerous to leave anyone 1-on-1 with Paul Crummy, even if it's someone as skilled and as experienced as Bill O'Carroll. This is pretty much a easy free for Ben Coffey, who sticks it over, and we're back to a 1-point game. Matt Collins, the Cork man, from a family of goalkeepers. That's a great catch by Mark Howard. One Cork man to another. Howard over carries, and it's a free for Lucan. They really put the pressure on him there.
Yeah, Lucan are hunting in packs big time here. Mark Howard, small bit disappointed with that, but he played really well in Crokes' last game, and he's such pace there. He has a lot of options, so he'll be looking to get himself back into the game.
It's one thing that Vincent and Fox couldn't do yesterday in their games. They couldn't keep it going for the 60 minutes. In the first half of both matches, it was level enough, it was close enough, but I think Lucan are something a bit different. I think they have the capability to keep it going. Squirts away from Kilmacud, then he regathers and wins the free. Dylan Mulligan a bit loose with his hurley.
Yeah, and Lucan are really celebrating every score and every block, and that free there, there's 4 or 5 that are around the ball celebrating and patting each other on the back, so they're trying to bring massive energy into this.
Oh, it just arrows away. Unlucky.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worries of Lucan in the last game, that Ben missed 1 or 2, and for Lucan to beat favourites Crokes like this, it's a game where everything has to go well, and then you need to play well on top of that as well, so they really do need to be going over.
An intriguing battle so far. Whiteley, he's running out of options here, so he just has to play it in front of himself and get away from Roland Smith. Rolo, as he's known, he has played for Dublin in the past. Mulligan back to Whiteley, who'll have another goal, looking for his second point. And he has squeezed that one over. Good score from Whiteley, both points from play.
Yeah, he's been very involved so far. I think it's Roland Smith that marked him, and Roland Smith would normally have a massive engine on him, so he'd want to keep it a small bit tighter.
Almost caught by Peter Kelly, just couldn't quite keep a hold of it, but it did go out off a Crokes man, and it's a line ball to Lucan. Crokes yet to have a really tight championship game this year. They were Fairly convincing winners against Ballyboden on the first day out. Of course, we saw yesterday Ballyboden did enough to get into the semi-finals. They've improved as the competition has gone on. Trying to get the shot away is Alex Considine. He's a big man and he's got a big score.
Yeah, he is a big man, but it was a good score there. He was kind of under pressure falling over, so did well to get it over.
Crokes with 2 points without reply. Cian McGowan. If that full forward line wins ball, they'll do damage. Surely that was a free. The referee says no, play on. Good defending, Matt McCaffrey. O'Carroll met it, but he couldn't control it. Now it's Crummy. Drops it short. Matt Collins under pressure. Matt Collins does swat it away against the on-rushing CJ Smith. And firing it away with the plum is Navan O'Riordan. Trying to get there is Oisin O'Rourke, but he's been policed by Alan Murphy. O'Rourke at a tight angle. Quaylon Conway has a lot of work to do to get that under control. Wide. A second wide for Crokes.
That's a luxury that Crokes have, is that they can put a 70-yard ball in and Ronan Hayes and Constantine can compete for it while Oisin O'Rourke will go into the breaks, and it's not many teams that have that balance like that.
McCaffrey intercepted brilliantly. John McCaffrey, the brothers combining. Cian McHugh. That's a dangerous ball over the top for CJ Smith. Jamie Clinton showing his experience and just holding him up. Now he gets some help from Mark Grogan. Kicked on by Smith into the path of Peter Kelly, who's left unmarked. That's dangerous no matter where he is on the pitch. He's looking inside for Paul Crummy, who couldn't get the contact on it. Now it's Chris. Free in for Lucan. Again, they battled for it there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how CJ Smith gets on today. He'd be more of a footballer and probably wouldn't have an awful lot of hurling done this year, but all the reports from Lucan say that he's flying it and he really is one to watch.
They have a few dual players in their squad and some guys who kind of committed to the hurlers as soon as the footballers went out of the championship. Crokes line the goal just in case, but I think Coffey's going to just send this one over for his second.
The high ball into Paul Crummy is very much a tactic that Lucan have tried to play so far. Kind of a tactic that Lucan will accept that it's not going to work every time, but all Paul needs is that one ball and it's a goal chance like we saw earlier.
Lucan's first score since the 7th minute. That also a Coffey free. Here's Peter Kelly from right out the country. That's going to drop inside. And the referee read it that Paul Crummy was fouled. It's another easy free. And then I think that's Bill O'Carroll going over rather easily. A big man like that, a physical man like that, shouldn't really be going down after contact like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that free again. I don't know, it looked like the two of them were battling and nearly Paul was the aggressor there, but Bill is as cute a fullback as you can get.
It's an easy one for Ben Coffey again. Crokes line the goal. Lucan, for the first time in this match, looking to put back-to-back points together, which they have done through Coffey. Three for Coffey now. Up in the air we go, and down on the ground we are. Scooped on by Bellew. Bounced forward by Peter Kelly. This is a really good run by Chris Crummy. Such a skillful, elegant player, Chris Crummy. And he raises the white flag.
Yeah, signature point from Crummy. He loves them running down the sideline and he does the head twist with it, but very effective.
3 points in a row, 2 frees and 1 from play, and Lucan are level. Trying to get it as Considine. The Lucan players say it was on the ground. Alan Murphy storms out of defence. Cian McHugh got it off there to Kevin Fitzgerald. Didn't catch that one right. Second wide for Lucan.
No, but Lucan will be very happy with how it's going so far now. only 15 minutes gone, or just under 15 minutes, but they've brought an intensity to this. They're keeping within scoring distance of Crokes, and if they can keep this going, they'll be very happy going in at half time.
Navion O'Riordan is boxed in, but he gets out of trouble wonderfully well. Here's O'Carroll. Miscue, and Chris Crummy pounces. Back it goes to Alan Murphy. Murphy looking for Paul Crummy. It's going to go to Ben Coffey instead. We've seen that he can do it from frees, he can do it from play as well. That's a really good score.
Yeah, Murphy's been very impressive so far this year. Very clever ball. Probably had the option of taking his own score, but played a nice neat pass into just behind the Crokes defence line. That's a good score for Lucan.
Lucan leading for the first time in the game. Coming up to the water break, Sean McGrath goes for it. And hits Crokes third wide.
Yeah, you hear shot selection these days. That was probably not the right one. He's back to goal at the sideline. Maybe try to recycle and try to get one of the scorers on the ball.
We're at the water break, therefore we're heading into the second quarter, if you want to phrase it like that. What have you made of it so far, Owen?
Yeah, very exciting first quarter. I think both teams will be fairly happy with how it went. Lucan bringing the much more aggressive team so far, the louder team. They've been trying to hunt in packs and get energy from any score or free that they can get. Crokes have a lot of class. A lot of different scorers from play, and Fergal Whiteley especially has kind of dropped back. He's been forward, he's been all over the place, so Crokes will be looking to him to get on a few more ball. The one thing I have noticed is that the Lucan full back line have done very well. John Bellew's come out with ball, Paul Claffey and Philip Smith I think is in there as well, or was there a change there? But the whole Lucan full back line are doing very well, and not an easy full forward line to deal with.
Fair to say that Crokes haven't clicked yet, but Lucan haven't let them click.
No, and I say that is the case, that Lucan have been very much intense, loud, physical, and it's a tough style of play to that, and whether they can last 60 minutes I don't know, but hopefully, because it's a very entertaining game so far.
Last of the Senior A quarter-finals this weekend. Earlier on, Bridget's playing Coola. I won't mention the score of that, just in case you want to watch it later on TG Cahir. It's being shown in full. We will have the semi-final draw after this game for the Senior A and Senior B. And we'll resume with the Killian Murray puck out. He's worked incredibly hard to get to Senior A level, Killian Murray. Now, can Lucan pick up where they left off before the water break with 4 points on the trot? Ronan Hayes has dropped deep, has a look up. Good take by Alex Considine. Where's he going to go though? What's he going to do? Has to go backwards to Quaylon Conway. Conway under pressure, hits it wide. A fourth for Crokes.
I think Chris Crummy took a knock there trying to block, so he's down looking for a bit of treatment. Hopefully he'll be alright. The obvious tactic from Lucan is that they're trying to isolate Chris Crummy and Peter Kelly on that far wing and put ball down on it. For two big lads, and no on their own standards, probably would be disappointed with the turn rate so far. The Crokes have got breaking ball over there. Crokes lads aren't even jumping up with their hand, they're just trying to get it to ground and win it there. So, puck outs are a massive part of the game, and for Lucan to get a full hold in the game, they'd be looking to them two lads.
It has been a good display from Lucan so far.
Yeah, it's the same ball down on top of Peter Kelly and Chris again. Crokes again come out with it.
Well, sometimes the obvious is the best. Conway trying to get away from his man. Referee gives the free in.
And looking out on the pitch, you can see John Bellew's man marking Ronan Hayes. Ronan's gone out to wing forward and Mark Howard's gone inside, but John has followed him.
Aidan DePuyer and Kieran Dowling, the Crokes management team this year, filling the big shoes left by Anthony Daly, who got Crokes to a county title but just fell a little bit short. Here's Oisin O'Rourke. Crokes' first score since the 10th minute. Battling for it, Alex Considine. Trying to intercept his Mulligan. He does, and he's fouled. Kevin Fitzgerald a little bit loose there, and Mulligan felt it.
Two kind of loose slaps, one from Peter Kelly and then Kevin Fitzgerald, and 2 points for Crokes that are just needless, and Oisin O'Rourke will score these all day long. So, Crokes are going to be very happy with this. It's kind of slowing the game down, slowing the tempo, and Crokes will keep tipping their points over. So it's a fine balance between Lucan bringing the intensity and then playing smart and defending smart.
O'Rourke looking for his third of the game.
Paul Claffey on the ground getting treatment, I think, is the delay. He looks to be in a lot of pain with his knee. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. You'd never like to see a player go down holding their knee.
No. You can see some players are just kind of drifting around, and see CJ Smith off camera is running over to the corner forward position, and Jamie Clinton is now beginning to follow him. He didn't at first. Good to see that Claffey's okay. So Oisin O'Rourke, after a long delay, looking to put Crokes back on top. Strikes it beautifully. Second one in a row for him, from two different sides as well, which he'll be particularly pleased with. And Crokes lead 7-6. The Lucan lead lasting 6 or so minutes. Trying to get under it was Mark Howard. Lucan battling with Rollo Smith. Chris Crummy now over it. Now it's Kevin Fitzgerald. Pops it off to Roland Smith. Over the top, Mark Grogan has to be really careful here. That was dangerous, and he was lucky it did find its way to Jamie Clinton. That's a brilliant block down. Lucan are giving up on nothing here. They're really, really battling for everything. Both teams fighting for that breaking ball. It comes to CJ Smith. Smith gets through a gap but loses the sliotar. He is fouled though, and it's a free into Lucan. There's a little bit of bite in this game as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and the takeoff there from CJ Smith, you could just see he had the acceleration there to first couple of steps was get himself out of trouble, and did well to buy the free.
So for a player of Ben Coffey's standard, this is an easy enough chance, even though he is against a stiff enough breeze. Good score, Benji is the shout. Ben Coffey slots it over. Crokes win the free. Bill O'Carroll standing over it. It's lost. Claffey steals it. Does really well to get it inside, and trying to bash his way out as John McCaffrey. Does fall now to John Bellew. Bellew with a lovely slaloming run and gets it out there to, I think that's Ronan Smith, who strikes it down the park. Trying to take it down out of the sky is Paul Crummy. The referee's going to have to throw that one in. It is just so intense out there.
Yeah, it is very entertaining to watch. It's no exceptional score so far, but it's different kind of entertaining. That both teams are just relentless, and any one time anyone gets a player, it's just consistent pressure on them.
Well, yesterday in the 2 games we covered, it was close enough in the first half. In the second half, there was dominant performances from Nafina and Ballyboden St Enda's. I don't think that's going to be the case in this game. I think this is going to be close right the way through. Who's going to come away with it here? It's Ben Coffey. Coffey's foul on the way through, and it's a free in.
Yeah, well played by Lucan. They'll be happy with this. Another easy free for Ben Coffey, and there's 2 frees Bill O'Carroll has given away. And yeah, Bill O'Carroll I think was the one that gave the free. The ref said he was just hugging him a small bit.
Oh, that is a real let-up for Crokes. Coffey strikes a free wide.
Yeah, that's a killer for Lucan. They have to be scoring them. That's 2 frees now they've missed, and they'll put them 2 points clear of Kilmacud. And instead of giving you energy, it's draining you. So I know Chris has been taking a few frees during the other group stages. Maybe it might be time to have a look at it if Ben's confidence is low.
CJ Smith up against Jamie Clinton. Smith partially gets around him. Does well to get it inside to Paul Crummy. Crummy at a tight angle, doesn't strike it cleanly, and Matt Collins tidies it up. Spooned it out to Grogan. Oh, Grogan lost it. Again, the pressure coming in from Chris Crummy. Grogan should still have got that one away. Will it cost them? That is a spectacular score.
Great score from Chris. He was falling over as he hit it, but the accuracy was still there, and Paul Crummy is looking very threatening inside. And if the 2 Crummy brothers can keep this going, you know, they can lead Lucan in at half time with a few points to spare. And you know, Crokes at the moment aren't playing a sweeper in front of Paul, but he's causing damage in there, so it might be something that they need to consider.
The Crokes have been turned over too often. Lucan are physically dominating here, and there is a Lucan man down. They've already had Paul Claffey down. It's not him this time. It is in fact Peter Kelly. He's okay. As you said earlier on, he has had his tribulations with injuries through the years. A very talented hurler. Bill O'Carroll down to Grogan. Grogan not quite getting the last one out of his system, and again he gives it away.
Yeah, that's the second kind of time Grogan has gone for that dummy and been dispossessed both times. It might be better just letting it in first time. Young player from Crokes, but all the reports say he's one to watch in the future, and has played all the way up underage for Dublin, and maybe has taken a slight break due to school commitments or work commitments or whatever, but he'd be definitely one to watch in the upcoming years.
Peter Kelly sweeps it inside for Chris Crummy. Chris Crummy back to Peter Kelly, who's going to launch this, but it goes wide. A third wide from a shot from Lucan. Matt Collins sounds like he hurt himself after pucking that ball down the park. Once again, it's Lucan who are under, trying to get there. Sean McGrath, he touched it on the ground, and Crokes are rattled.
Crokes are rattled, and the Lucan backs are very much on top. Nearly every ball that's going in, they've won, and that was probably the big concern, and the concern I expressed before the game was, would they be able to contain all 6 of the Crokes forwards, and they certainly have done so far. Now, Johnny hands up. This is a ball to Paul, it looks like, into the corner.
Doesn't catch it right, almost fell to Peter Kelly. Might come here to Kilmacud. Taken back by Dylan Mulligan. Whiteley has to battle for this one up against Ronan Smith. And it's Lucan who turned it over once again, and this is a shot from Kilmacud, which is dropping short. Matt Collins. Away it goes to Navon O'Riordan, who's got space. Just hits it first time down the park. Lucan do have an extra man back. That's John McCaffrey. He gathers it. It's a dangerous crossfielder to Matt McCaffrey. Spills it out to his teammate, who's dispossessed. It's Oisin O'Rourke. He was surrounded, so couldn't shoot first time. So gets it away to Quaylon Conway, who gets a much needed point for Crokes, his second.
Yeah, probably the one criticism I have with the Lucan backs is they're doing very well defensively, but coming out with the ball, they probably need to be slightly quicker and stronger. Once or twice they've been lucky to get out of danger through a couple of hand passes, but here again, well done. This wood, John Belly's playing very well.
Smith over the top, 2-on-2. Lucan win the possession. Crummy doesn't get enough on that. Matt Collins again has to gather it. Surely he's foul. Referee says yes. There was just a little hand in there from CJ Smith. He kind of dragged him down. Collins dropping it in on top of Ronan Hayes, who gathers it, gives it Whiteley. Whiteley's dragged down, free in.
Class touch from Ronan Hayes there. That ball was coming 70 yards, and just the skill to be able to knock it down to himself, and Fergal Whiteley running off the shoulder, then excellent score. Well, will be score once Oisin gets his hands on him.
Lucan haven't allowed them to flow yet, but if they can start doing that, winning simple ball, winning their own ball, and just getting it to the men running off the shoulders, they've got a chance here.
Yeah, and when you have players of class like Ronan Hayes, all they need is that one chance to make something happen. And you know, if John Bellew's gotten 3 or 4 balls, but as a forward, if you win that one, then 3 or 4 that the back wins are quickly forgotten. I don't sound bitter at all, Oisin, do I?
No, not a bit. Here's Oisin O'Rourke. Yellow card for John McCaffrey, by the way. Oisin O'Rourke glides it over. That was one of those clever ones from the Lucan point of view, because Fergal Whiteley was bearing in on goal, no doubt about it. It's a battle zone under those puckouts. Not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. You'd want to have strong shoulders. And Roland Smith picks it up. Smith has a look up. What's there? Against the odds, Paul Crummy is going to win this. Crummy pops it off. The shot comes from Kilmacud. It's blocked down. Paul Crummy under it again. No foul this time, says the referee.
It's a good battle between Bill and Paul in there. Paul has got 2 or 3 balls, but it has to be said that the ball going into Paul has been quite excellent so far. That Rowan was running the opposite way, switch of direction, ball out into space in front of Paul, and you know, he really has brought his game on, that he has that aerial ability, and his touch has come on a long way, and his hurling has come on a long way, so he's one to be watched.
He is down at the moment, Paul Crummy.
He's one of the toughest players around, though. It'll take a lot to keep him down. I say he'll be back up fairly quick.
Grogan and Fitzgerald shoulder to shoulder. Crokes win the possession. Away it goes from Cian McGowan. Alex Considine under real pressure from Claffey. Claffey just lies down on the ball. Considine has a little pull on it, and the referee says it's a free in.
Yeah, Claffey and Considine having a good battle as well. It's point from play from Considine now won this free, and Claffey's come out with 1 or 2, so there's been a few interesting battles all over the pitch.
Well, Lucan have put in a battling display. Crokes have had to try and match them. If they can go in 2 up at the break, if O'Rourke nails this free, that would actually be not bad, considering that Lucan have had many opportunities and have at times physically dominated them. Now, I think Alex Considine is being pulled out here. Maybe it's because of that little kind of attempted stroke he took on the ball. He'll say he was going for the ball, but the referee will tell him that Claffey was lying on it, so you knew you had no chance.
You'd imagine you have to throw the ball in here if...
Yellow card. And you're right, the ball thrown in rather than a free for Crokes. Just about kept in play brilliantly by Roland Smith. Intercepted by Cian McGowan. McGowan had no options, so he had to take a few seconds out of it.
Yeah,
line ball, yeah, he did carry it out.
Yeah, he was unlucky though. Did very well to win the dirty ball and break out through the shoulder. Unlucky now for that to go against him.
We saw Ian McBride scoring from a line ball yesterday. Does Whiteley fancy his chances here?
All these lads be having competitions before training, so it's good to see they're getting the use out of all their practice.
It's such a different skill to everything else in hurling, isn't it? The line ball.
Yeah, it's a skill unless you practice it in itself. You'll never, like your strike, your touch, your catching will all develop naturally through girls, through drills and games, but sidelines have to be practiced.
Well, that's it. It's half time, and it's Crokes who lead by 9 points to 8. What have you made of it, Owen?
Very entertaining first half. I think Crokes probably have rose to the intensity that Lucan have brought. I don't think they were massively expecting that. Before the ref threw the ball in, Lucan were very aggressive, getting to know them, and have brought that into the game. Chris Cromie's playing well. Paul Cromie's playing well. On the flip side, Fergal Whiteley's playing well. You know, probably Crokes will be looking to a few more forwards to get involved, as the Lucan backs have gotten slightly on top, but they have that class. If they get the chance, they will do damage.
The thing is with Crokes, and we mentioned it during the game, this is the tightest game they've had so far. So even this half of hurling will bring them on. Now that they have the chance to kind of sit and think about it for a second and talk about it for a second, they'll know that, they kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, and they've a lot of experience there, like Mark Howard, Quaylen Conway, Shawnee McGrath. Like, these lads have been around a long time and have played in county final, so they won't let this get to their head. They'll keep to their plan, keep to the process, what they're doing, and that's what you hear teams and managers talk about all the time, is sticking to the process. So they'll be looking to get lads like Ronan Hayes on the ball, get the ball into Oisin O'Rourke, and try to get these lads in more involved in the game.
Okay, well, after this game, we've got the county semi-final draw in it. Nafina and Ballyboden, and one of Bridget's or Coola. If you don't want to know who won the game between those two earlier, I won't tell you, because it is live. Well, not live and in full, but it's on in full on TG Carr a little bit later on. So you might want to skip the draw if that's the case as well, if you want to watch that game and don't know. But we will have the draw for the Senior A semi-finals and the Senior B semi-finals after this match. Will it be Crokes or Lucan in the hat? And we will find out today, by the way. It has to come to a conclusion today. Well, we'll find out over the next half an hour or so. So stay with us, the second half to come. Welcome back to a sunny Parnell Park. It is the last of the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship quarter-finals. Lucan against Kilmacud Crokes. The two yesterday were very one-sided in the second half, despite being tight enough going into the second half. I won't mention the previous game just in case you want to watch it in full on TG Car later. Owen, I think this is going to be a bit different to yesterday. I think it's going to be tight in the second half.
Yeah, I think the first 5 or 10 minutes will be a big factor. If Lucan can bring the same energy again and keep up with Crokes, bring it down to the wire, then it's anyone's game. Kilmacud probably slightly disappointed that some of their key players aren't into it. Quaylen Conway's had a good game, scored 2 points. Fergal Whiteley's been playing well, and Ushin's been clinical on the free. So just a few more lads into the game, and Crokes will be doing well.
Crokes playing from right to left in this second half on it already. Dylan Mulligan, he is being hunted down. Crokes have made a change by the looks of things. Dara Butler appears to be in. Alex Considine doesn't have enough to beat the keeper. What a steal by Peter Kelly. There's danger here for Crokes. O'Carroll got to stick to it, and luckily for him, Jamie Clinton wins the second ball. Ben Coffey scoring from frees and from play in the first half. Here's Paul Crummy. Crummy inside to Chris Crummy, looking for his third, and he gets it.
Yeah, the two brothers linking up there is really good. But that catch from Peter Kelly's been doing that for years, and he played that catch almost like a back, that he wasn't out in front. Let Mark Rogan take a few steps in front and used his hurl to bring his hand down, and a good couple of feet in the air. Great catch.
Battle on, 9 points apiece. Chris Crummy, who's been masterful so far. It's one-on-one inside. Can Paul get under that? No, it is too much, and it goes wide.
This is a big play for Lucan here. Scored the last point, overturn it there for steps, and hopefully Ben Coffey can put this over the bar. But 2 points like that off the bat is huge. And I know I keep talking about this energy thing, but that is one of the biggest factors in hurling that probably isn't talked about enough. That, you know, it drives everything. It drives your communication, it drives your tackling, your intensity. It keeps everybody on task and on point. So if Lucan can keep this momentum going, they'll be doing very well come the end of the game.
Well, Coffey looking to put Lucan in front. Coffey with the breeze at his back puts it over. Once again, it's Kevin Fitzgerald and Lucan who win the primary possession. Referee's going to throw this in.
See Ross O'Carroll coming in here. He's gone wing back on Peter Kelly, and that's probably more of a smarter physical matchup for Kilmacud. Peter won't be able to bully Ross anyway, but it'd be a good contest.
Off goes Jamie Clinton. O'Carroll and Kelly already at it. Breaking ball won by Roland Smith. He was barreled into, and it's a free for Lucan. I was speaking to someone from Lucan before this game, and they said Roland Smith, he's just a give-all player. He's the kind of guy you want out there on the pitch.
Yeah, when we be wearing GPSs,
White ball is the shout from the field, but what is it from the umpires? Yeah, they agree. Clean catch by Quaylon Conway. Popped it off to Mulligan, who's got nowhere to go. He's dispossessed. Here's Chris Crummy. Crummy lets it go. Chris Crummy. Oh, that's a wonderful score.
Chris is having a great game. That's 4 points in play, and all 4 points were hard won. None of them tapped over or anything like that. So Chris is doing very well.
Lucan win it back. Crokes trying to overcomplicate things, and that's another great score by Crummy.
He's such a physical presence up there that, you know, he can get in and win them dirty balls that your lighter forwards wouldn't be able, and he just adds something different. So
3 points from play for him so far in the second half alone. That's 5 altogether. Can Crokes respond? Yet to score in the second half. Misses Conway. Picks it up under pressure. That's a good ball forward. What can he do? The new man in, Butler. He gets inside. He's dragged down. He was in the square when he's dragged. The drag came from outside the square. Judging by the reaction of O'Carroll, I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's a free. Have a look at it here, Owen. What do you think? He'll have a word with his umpires just to be safe.
Ooh.
Well, he's in the square when he's fouled, you see, so it has to be a penalty.
It looked like a penalty there. It looks very, very close.
Now, obviously, the referee doesn't have the benefit of the replay like we do.
It actually looked like Peter Kelly himself was outside the square, but
it
looked
is
like
a penalty.
Kilmacud were inside, yeah.
And that's frustrating for Lucan because it looked like Dara Butler was bottled up. Now, he might have got a strike away, but it wouldn't have been a clean one.
Yeah, Peter probably just tried to grab him slightly before he got a chance to get into that square, and was that fraction of a second too late.
It's Ronan Hayes up against Killian Murray. Can Hayes wipe out all of Lucan's good work so far in the second half? The first score of the half for Crokes could be a big one. Hayes against Murray. Hayes, good save by Murray. Who's going to win the follow-up? You just know it's going to be Lucan. Murray just pulls on it and sends it out for a 65. But that is a fantastic save from Murray. Not a particularly well-struck Hayes penalty.
No, Ronan will be very disappointed with that penalty. Putting someone on a penalty like Ronan, who probably hasn't been too involved in the first half of the game, I don't know, maybe Oisín has been going well in the frees, and you know he's been known to score the penalties. Might have been the smarter option, but hindsight is a great thing. Again, massive energy for Lucan to take from that. You know, it's a get out of jail card for them, and Oisín trying to bring it back to 2.
Oh, it's drifting wide. You can hear the cheer from the Lucan bench. It's like there are fans here.
Yeah,
And by bench I mean Lucan players in the stand, because that's where they have to sit.
Compared to yesterday, the noise in the stadium, and there is only the handful of players out there, but the noise is incomparable.
Going up to try and win it, Brian Sheehy can't get there. Kevin Fitzgerald trying to get it into his hand. Crokes have it. Oisín O'Rourke gets it away. Here's Dylan Mulligan. O'Carroll steps inside Coffey. It's not a good ball though. Claffey sweeps it up. John McCaffrey. Crummy. Paul to Chris. O'Carroll pushes him out.
That was a big hit from Ross there. Just used his chest to push Chris out of the side, and he looks in a bit of bother here.
Well, the Crummies have been through it in this game. Both of them have received knocks, and they're not afraid of that. They don't mind a battle, as we've seen already. He's up and running again, which is good to see.
Yeah, I think Bill O'Carroll was just in making sure Chris was alright. I'd say he was very concerned.
Cian McGowan with the line ball. Cleaned up by Alan Murphy, who's bottled up. That was really clever. Dropped it on the ground and kicked it into the path of Bellew, who's trying to get away from Fergal Whiteley. Dropped by Chris Crummy. Dylan Mulligan. Here's the shout from beside him. Navon O'Riordan, pressurised by Kieran Dowling. Dowling fouls him. No, he doesn't. It's a free in. And rightfully so. O'Riordan took too much out of it, took too many steps. That's wonderful work from Lucan. They're a joy to watch.
Everything is just going perfectly well for Lucan so far. Between their backs, Alan Murphy's having a great game. Their use of ball is very well. Johnny is back there. I'm trying to figure out how Johnny is free so often back there. It looks that any time Crokes hit the ball, Johnny is just turning and sprinting back, and one of the midfielders is coming back and pushing into the Lucan half-back line to cover his man. But Johnny seems to be free back there a good few times.
But they're clever as well. I can't remember whether it was Alan Murphy or John Bellew, but he was bottled up by 3 Crokes players and actually dropped the ball and kicked it out.
Yeah, Alan Murphy, I think he's having a great game so far, and he's had a good season for Lucan so far.
Coffey. As Lucan extend their lead. Four points the gap. Matt Collins. That's risky enough when Lucan are pushing up. They get away with it. O'Riordan, bottled up by Crummy, gets it inside for Bill O'Carroll. Grogan, slaloming past Roland Smith. Grogan to Mulligan. Dylan Mulligan, surging forward. Again, it's loose, but luckily for him, it is picked up by Ronan Hayes. Hayes had Mulligan as an option, instead drops it inside. Oisin O'Rourke is the target. Oisin O'Rourke can't take it cleanly. Battling now is Considine, but it's a Lucan player who I think has it in hand. It's John McCaffrey who's driving out, and he gets the free out.
Yeah, Johnny's having a very good game back there as well. He's bringing so much experience there that he just knows to be in the right place at the right time, and to win his free there takes all the pressure off Lucan back there.
Fergal Whiteley is going off, and he's not particularly pleased about it. He's a player who gives it everything, loves his hurling, so you can't blame him for not being pleased. Robert Murphy is in for Kilmacud Crokes. Here's O'Carroll bringing it out of defence. He has to go off the hurley now. 2-on-2. Again, it's won brilliantly, and it's Alan Murphy. Murphy to McCaffrey. Fitzgerald's. Matt McCaffrey now. Fitzgerald's taking a knock. He's still down. Matt McCaffrey drives on. Peter Kelly. Kelly back out to McCaffrey. That's wonderful hurling. Can McCaffrey finish this with a wonderful score? Oh, yes, he can.
Class. Absolute
what
class
a point
score
by Matt McCaffrey, but brilliant work from Peter Kelly and him.
One of the points of the championship so far. Absolute class score. Don't massively understand that decision from Crokes to take Fergal Whiteley off there. That's probably been quiet by his standards in the second half there, but had a very good first half. 2 points in play, and it was getting on ball. Unless it was an injury or something like that, I don't massively understand it.
Robert Murphy. Avon O'Riordan charging on, gets the free. Crokes yet to score in the second half. That was a wonderful score from Matt McCaffrey. You can't underestimate the work that Peter Kelly did for it as well. Just kind of took it and popped it back to him under real pressure. And McCaffrey, he still had an awful lot of work to do to get that one over, but
yeah, it was the quickness for Peter Kelly to gather the ball and to see that Matt was running at the same time. So, great score.
Cian McGowan lets it in. It was taken by Considine, but then dropped. And once again, it's that Lucan backline who win the ball. Out it goes to Kevin Fitzgerald. Kevin Fitzgerald farms it on. Ben Coffey trying to get there. Falls in behind for Paul Crummy. He just couldn't take it up. Good pressure from Bill O'Carroll. And Collins slots it out to Ross O'Carroll. Dylan Mulligan. He's not particularly pleased with that one. Getting in the way of it is Alan Murphy, but it's robbed by Ronan Hayes. Hayes has options. Still going Hayes. Scoops it up towards Mark Howard. Wouldn't fall Howard's way. Free out for Lucan.
Yeah, everything is just going right for Lucan back there. Ronan Hayes is a big, strong man to be running through. Was hit with 2 or 3 shoulders and eventually taking the ball off him. And then Lucan, that's the 3rd or 4th time now Kilmacud forwards have fouled in that area. They need to be more disciplined. That if you look at the other end of the pitch, Kilmacud aren't getting any ball out easy at all.
This is a great display by Lucan. Killian Murray gets under this one. Crummy couldn't make it stick. O'Carroll, big hit between him and Peter Kelly. 2 monsters. Great hook. That was wonderful from Ronan Smith. Kieran Dowling couldn't keep control of it. Mark Rogan gives away the line ball.
It's hard, Oisin, to see how Crokes are going to get their way back into this, because just nothing is falling for them. Lucan seem to be winning all the touches, the dirty ball, any kind of loose things, and they seem to have a certain amount of luck with them as well. But just Crokes are going to need something special now to get themselves back into it. There is only 5 points in it, don't get me wrong, but just the style of play and the way the game is flowing, Lucan just seem to be very on top.
Well, it seems that Crokes have tried both running it and going long, and neither has worked. Here's Peter Kelly. Crummie's trying to get there and almost did. Chris as opposed to Paul. Does go down as a wide though. Matt Collins, what's he going to do here? Goes short, and it's Sheehy. Sheehy bottled up and wins the free out.
Yeah, Crokes have gone short in the last 3 or 4, whereas in the first half I'm not sure if they went short at all.
CJ Smith just slowing it down and frustrating Crokes. Well, this year has thrown up a few anomalies. There we go. I knew I'd get it eventually, given what's going on in the world. But one of the stats that you've never heard of before is not scoring before the water break. Crokes in real danger of that, although they have got this free from a good position.
For all the possession and for all the things that have gone well for Lucan after this Oisin O'Rourke free, to only be 4 points up, I'd say they'd be slightly disappointed.
Wide is the shout, but it's the wrong shout. It does go over. It's a much needed score for Crokes, who get to the water break having got one, but it's not nearly enough. And Lucan have dominated physically and on the scoreboard, 4 between them, 14-10. Hard to see anything else but a Lucan win here on.
Yeah, unless there's going to be a complete change here now in the last quarter, I don't know. But if Lucan can maintain the intensity that they're bringing to this, it's hard to see anything but that. 4 points between the team isn't an awful lot. Like, the quality of the Kilmacud players doesn't change. They might have been playing very well, but lads like Ronan Hayes or Oisin O'Rourke only need that split second and it'll be a goal. So Lucan still have a good bit of work to do before they finish this game out.
County finalists 2 years ago, Kilmacud Crokes beaten by Ballyboden after an epic last year. Well, that's a season they'd rather forget. This year, like everyone else, they and Lucan and all the other teams involved delighted to be on the pitch, because there was a time we didn't think we'd get anything. And while it's not ideal and while fans can't be here and we know that's disappointing, having games is better than nothing, and we're delighted to bring you these games. And this one is a particularly tight one and intriguing and interesting and better than anything we've seen so far this weekend in the games we've shown. Obviously, I won't make mention of Bridget's and Kula because that's on TG Cahir later. If you want to watch that in full, you can do so. I won't tell you what happened or the score of it, but we are getting a grandstand finish for the weekend. Are we going to get, I won't say a major shock, but it would certainly be a mild tremor if Lucan were to win this one?
Yeah, major shock is definitely too strong of a word, but Lucan have been coming good over the last couple of years. Crokes heavy favourites going into this, but you know, like I said before the game, Lucan have been quietly confident, probably very still reliant on the 2 Cromie brothers up front, that they need to be getting a few more scores in play. But you know, Peter Kelly is playing well, Johnny McCaffrey's playing well, very well back there, and them 2 lads have a bit of mileage under the belt. So whether Crokes now can finish it out in the last 15 minutes will be the test.
It's all about Lucan so far today, and it's Murray who'll puck the ball out. In the second half, it's 5-1 to Lucan. It was 9-8 to Crokes coming into that second half. Here's Conway. Will the break do Crokes some good? Sheehy. That's against the odds for Oisin O'Rourke, and he doesn't get their first time, doesn't get their second time, but it's a needless drag down from John McCaffrey, and it opens the door for Crokes. Yeah,
needless is right. Alan Murphy had nearly got possession of the ball there, and Oisin wasn't going anywhere. So 2 frees in a row now for Kilmacud. And these frees, they count the same as any other free or any other play, so they'll be happy to keep tapping these over. And the fact that they'll probably score 2 points within a couple of minutes will give them a bit of a boost. As you'd expect, Oisin O'Rourke taps it over. Well,
At 11-8, Crokes had a penalty which was saved by Killian Murray. Since that, they've struggled to score just those 2 frees, but those 2 frees have come in a row, and now Quaylon Conway has won a ball, puts it inside where it is 2-on-2. It's lost by everyone, but Bellew then gathers. And that's a really good ball down the line, picked up by CJ Smith, who's fouled.
Yeah, and things just aren't falling for Kilmacud. That was Constantine and Ronan Hayes going for the same ball there, which would have never normally happened, and things just seem to be a bit of confusion between the players out there.
Coffey with 2 second half points so far. Both from frees. I think we can say it's a third. Let's hang on a second because I wasn't sure.
Kilmacud trying to go short on every puck out here now, and Lucan seemed to be happy enough to let them and try to get the turnover then.
Brian Sheehy just about keeps possession. Had O'Carroll beside him, but instead farms it long. Now can Crokes win a ball? Matt McCaffrey tries to get there. It's into a Crokes hand, but he can't get the time and space he needs, Alex Considine. And once again, Lucan win possession. McCaffrey chasing after Fitzgerald. 3 around him, but he doesn't seem to mind. Ronan Smith, pursued by Robert Murphy. Great ball, brilliantly taken by Paul Crummy, who sends it towards Kieran Dowling. It's open for Dowling. Will he go for goal? I think he will. He does. Good save by Matt Collins. And Dowling goes again, and it's another save by Matt Collins. Well, that, I think it's fair to say, keeps Crokes in the game.
Really should have been a goal. Not taken away from Matt Collins' save there. Excellent bit of goalkeeping, but one-on-one with the goalkeeper at that space. Really happy finishing them.
Murphy practically gives it away. Matt McCaffrey was waiting in the pocket. Here's Peter Kelly. He'll go for it. That's tailing though. 9 minutes to go and Matt Collins gives it away. You can hear his frustration. That's the one thing about having no fans. You hear everything that's going on the pitch. Is that going over? No, it's not.
I thought that
Chris Crummy thought it was over.
I thought it was over myself. I thought Ben Coffey had nailed it. There was a quick sideline there.
The referee agrees with these linesmen. Wide ball and Crokes with 2 let-offs now and 10 minutes to go. And only 4 between them. And a place in the semi-final up for grabs. Crokes regular attendees at the semi-finals. No county title since 2014. At the moment, that is not a concern. Getting to the semi-final, getting closer, that's the concern. Lucan have never won the Senior A Championship, but they're putting in some effort here. Dylan Mulligan has to kick that one forward. It is still Crokes' ball. Dara Butler. They've got a lot of big units, Crokes, so they shouldn't be getting dominated physically, but safe to say that Lucan are just maybe that bit more experienced in a physical sense, or their players, their physical players are a bit older. This, the chance for a goal that Kieran Dowling will probably tell you himself he should have stuck. Good save by Matt Collins though.
You'd have to wonder, Ocean, was it a small bit of complacency coming into this from Kilmacud that they thought they had to turn up and put in a 70% performance and get over the line? That's sometimes the favourites tagline is a heavy tag.
You can fall into that though if you haven't really been challenged in the championship, and sometimes you do need a tight game. And even the game that you would have expected to be tight wasn't. That was against Ballyboden the first day out. And as you said yesterday when we were watching Ballyboden, you can nearly take those first days out of it because it's been such a weird year in every sense. Crokes, is Mark Howard gone? He's had a quiet game. Mark Howard on the bench now. Not afraid to make big calls, Edon Depuer, the Crokes manager.
No, lads like Mark Howard, they just had a poor game. Mark is a quality hurler, really good player for Crokes in the last few games, and just things didn't fall for him today. And just Crokes have been that small bit more flat than Lucan, and Lucan seemed to have taken advantage of that and really made it into a dogfight.
Lucan haven't given them a clean strike in the game, and even the one strike they did have that was clean, the penalty, it was saved. Seamus Leahy, by the way, is on for Kilmacud Crokes. Drifting in behind is Donny Flannery. It is aimed to Donny Flannery. Grogan is kind of standing off him. Flannery takes it at a tight angle, trying to dance around Grogan. Blocking the route as Sheehy gets it inside to Crummy, but he's overcarried. Free out for Crokes. Carroll is barking at the free taker. His brother Bill used the free man. That's a great catch. Dara Butler finally gets some space, and then he goes down, then he gets it up again. He's trying to tangle with Roland Smith. Goes himself when he probably should have passed it to Conway. Ross O'Carroll sells the dummy well. Ross O'Carroll gets a big score for Kilmacud Crokes. Their first from play in the second half. They've waited a long time for it.
Yeah, 3 points through in the game is very little. Lots of time left, and Ross has definitely made an impact. It looks like he's gone wing forward now instead of wing back, and Mark Rogan is out to wing back again. So Ross just brings that experience and that physicality.
Great catch by Chris Crummy. Middle is the shout. It's going to be intercepted by Quaylon Conway. Back it goes to Seamus Leahy. Leahy gets away from Smith. Great block, or hook I should say, by Smith, but Leahy gets it again. Leahy looks inside. John McCaffrey's going to let this one off. It's batted away by Claffey, but only as far as Dylan Mulligan. Dylan Mulligan blocked down. Great work again by Lucan. It was Kieran Dowling who got back.
Yeah, we always say that hooks and blocks are a direct sign of work rate, that if you're hungry enough you'll get in and get them, and Lucan have far outclassed Kilmacud with their work rate and their hooks and blocks. That was 2 in a row. Ronan Smith chased 40 yards, got the hook, and then Dowser, who's playing as a wing forward or corner forward, is back in his own 45 making in tackles there.
It's that time of the match where I feel compelled to tell you extra time and penalties if required. Coffey. The odds against his man winning it there. He worked hard to get there, Donny Flannery, but he just couldn't. Leahy. Intercepted by Fitzgerald. He's had a wonderful match. One of many for Lucan, who's played well. Here's John McCaffrey tangling with Quaylon Conway. Crummy. Chris Crummy pops it up for Roland Smith. Back there to mind the house is Cian McGowan. Gives it to Brian Sheehy. Sheehy just fires this long. It's 2-on-3 in favour of Lucan in the square, or around the square I should say. And it's won again by Lucan, but they can't get it out. Ronan Hayes is trying to make it stick. Referee going in for a closer look. Who's going to be able to shovel this one into their hand or get any kind of clean possession? I think he's going to have to throw this one in.
From what it looks like, Lucan have 2 free men back there. They only have 2 Lucan forwards, only 2 Lucan players in their own half of the pitch, and everyone else seems to have dropped very deep back, and there's still a long time to be playing to do that.
About 4 minutes plus injury time. We'll have a clash ball here. 3 points between them. How big does that penalty miss seem for Kilmacud Crokes now? Or penalty save, I should say. Killian Murray in the Lucan goal did well to stop it, but it wasn't particularly well struck by Ronan Hayes. Lucan with the man down. He's tying his laces. It's clever. Not tying your laces, I mean the time wasting he's doing while tying his laces. That's John McCaffrey, who's going to come away with possession here. Grogan in fighting for it for Crokes. And it's a Lucan hand that has it. And here's Alan Murphy. And it's a free out for Lucan. Well, this is some display, and if anyone was thinking Lucan were a soft touch, I don't think they would be, but anyone who maybe hasn't been paying close attention to the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship this year, well, they'll know that Lucan are going to give anyone, they get plenty of it if they get through to the semi-finals. We have a few minutes left. McCaffrey. McGowan. O'Riordan. Closing him down was Chris Crummy. O'Riordan did well. He's taken an awful lot out of that. He's overcarried it, and he's basically given Lucan Sarsfields a point.
Yeah, it's fine margins. He was trying to play the ball out and just took it that extra second, which cost him, and a big score for Lucan because it's going to take him at least 30-40 seconds to hit this.
Ben Coffey to put Lucan 4 up. By my count, he's got 3 frees in the second half. Yellow card for Bill O'Carroll. I was talking to someone before the game from Lucan, and I asked them had they any memory of ever beating Crokes in the Senior A Championship. They said that, you know, it might have happened many years ago, but he can't remember it.
No, well, they well deserved today. Now just a couple of minutes left, but Lucan have definitely been the better team today.
Lucan 4 up. We've got 1 minute of normal time left, then injury time. Crokes are probably going to have to find a goal from somewhere, but outside of the penalty, they haven't looked like even creating a chance. Alex Considine has won a free. Bill O'Carroll coming forward. Put it over the bar is the shout from the Crokes bench. Bill O'Carroll puts this one into the mixer. Dylan Mulligan takes it. He's at a tight angle, trying to find his way through. Grogan! Another save. Might fall for O'Carroll. Side netting. Murray again there.
Great turn and strike from Grogan, and Ross, they're killers when they're on the ground like that. You know, the skill to get it on target from that angle is tough, but he'd be disappointed
he had to go
with
for
that.
it. Yeah, he will be disappointed, but he kind of had to hit it. That's a good catch by McGowan, who wins the free. Haven't seen the board go up, so don't know how much injury time there is, but we are now in injury time. Doesn't break for a purple and gold jersey first time. They might make it break for them second time. Trying to charge like a bull is Ronan Hayes. Goes to ground, wins the free in. Is the smart play here just to pop it over, narrow the gap to 3, and then worry about getting a goal?
Oh, I don't know. I'd say he's going to go for it. All right, I'd say there isn't too much stoppage left. There wasn't too many injuries. I say he's going to go for it and hope they can win the next puck out.
So Ronan Hayes standing over this one. Hayes goes for it. It's deflected away from the face of goal and out for a 65.
Yeah, more often than not they don't go in, but when you're chasing a game like that, the chances of getting 4 points in the next 2 minutes are very slim.
Crokes sending the cavalry forward.
And Lucan sending everyone back. There's only one player in the Lucan half now.
Well, like, they need to get 4 points, so they should probably just pop it over, take the point, and then worry about getting the goal. McGowan, inside it goes, trying to gather it as Robert Murphy. He's fouled, but it's clever if not cynical play from Lucan. Tangle afterwards between Murphy and Kieran Dowling.
Probably should be brought forward. I think Kilmacud tried to get it brought forward alright, and it was smart play by Murphy.
Roland Hayes will have to go for it again, but is there enough time? Even if this does go in, Crokes 4 down and on their way out. Hayes. This time they can't keep it out. Is there time for one more chance? One between them.
Well struck by Ronan Hayes. Great free.
Murray with one of the most important puck outs he'll ever take. Have Lucan done enough? Is there time? Can they get another one? Here's Chris Crummy. Crummy is bottled up. Crokes have it, but Murphy's in a fairly tight corner. Ball goes out, and it's a Lucan ball.
That was great play by Chris there. Needed a big ball winner, and one of the last pucks of the game, and to go up and win a ball like that is great. Takes all the pressure off Lucan, and they'll take their time with this sideline now.
The draw for the semi-finals coming up after this. At the moment, it's Lucan's name in the hat. Ben Coffey. It's all over, and Lucan Sarsfields have committed a giant killing, I think it's fair to say. They've beaten Kilmacud Crokes by 1 point, 16 points to 112, and you cannot say that they don't deserve it.
Absolutely phenomenal performance from Lucan. They outworked Kilmacud every position of the pitch. They had some really, really standout performances. The two Cromie brothers, Peter Kelly, Johnny, the exact lads that you look at the team sheet before and say we need big games from this, and well done to Lucan. Absolutely phenomenal performance.
A magnificent display. Hard to pick out individuals when they all played so well as a team, but Chris Crummy and Paul Crummy stood up. Ben Coffey's frees were excellent. He was good from play as well. Alan Murphy at fullback was class. John McCaffrey, Matt McCaffrey, Roland Smith, everyone was good from Lucan. That's the thing. That is what has got them through. There wasn't one underperformance in the starting 15.
No, absolutely, and they're starting from their full back line, starting from their goalkeeper. Two very good saves. Ronan Hayes' penalty save. Must be something out in the water or in Lucan today. They're Lucan seniors, junior A's and junior B's all won quarter final today, so a good day for Lucan, and fair play to them. They'll have a right crack at this semi-final now, and they've in bonus territory from here, and the type of fellas that they have is that they wouldn't have given any respect undue to Crokes. They would have gone out and tried to play their own brand of hurling. That's exactly what they did.
We'll find out who they will play in the semi-finals in a couple of minutes, and I'm sure whoever they get will think to themselves, this will be tough. For Kilmacud Crokes, they couldn't affect their game plan. Now, let's give Lucan credit. A lot of that was down to them, but how much of that was down to Crokes just not playing well?
It's hard to tell, Ushin. Lucan definitely played well. Whether it was a bit of complacency from Crokes, I don't know. They definitely didn't play up to the potential that they had. That they have such quality in their team in Ronan Hayes and Bill O'Carroll and Ushin O'Rourke, and these key lads just didn't stand up today when Kilmacud needed them. And it's very hard to know whether these lads didn't play well or Lucan didn't let them play well, but it doesn't matter. The same end result is that Lucan go through, and it's probably been the story of Crokes is that they've been the team of nearlies over the last 10 years or so, that they haven't been able just to get over that line even though they've had so much potential, and Lucan are just delighted with that win. You can see all the lads over there and they're just hugging each other and fist bumping and everything, so really, really well done to Lucan. A massive effort went into that. Who
absolutely deserve all the plaudits. Ben Coffey, we can see him there, one of his many frees that went over. I won't say I lost track, I have them written down, but he got some amount of them, didn't he? And he was a steady hand today when it was needed, but he didn't just knock over the frees. He wasn't a luxury. He actually worked hard like the rest of them.
No, and they all worked hard, and that is the story of the game, is that Lucan just outworked Kilmacud. And if you look at the teams on paper, Kilmacud definitely have the better hurlers, and Lucan won't take offence to that. And Lucan probably knew that going in, that they'd have to outwork them if they were going to beat them. So again, just massive credit to Lucan to put in that effort like that, and to get up for a game is very difficult. So well done to them.
Yeah, fantastic display. Crokes are out. They'll be hurting because last year was so disappointing, and it's been followed by another disappointing year this year. And what about Lucan? They, after this win, will take confidence. They'll fancy their chances. I'm not sure if you can hear it in the background, but they're cheering away. What do you think of Lucan, Owen?
Yeah, they'll have nothing to lose now going into the semi-final. Some strong teams that you probably would have guessed would be in the semi-final at the start of the year. Lucan probably wouldn't be in your top four guess, but they've worked hard. They've come good over the last couple of years, and when they have players like the two Crummy brothers up there, they can win their own ball and they can take scores. That's invaluable to a team, that they're not relying on anyone else. Like Paul had a super game up there. He was winning ball he had no right to win and laying it off, and then Chris, I think he finished with 5 points from play. So that kind of calibre, and Johnny McCaffrey was reeling in the years down there. He was he was sweeper, he was winning dirty ball, he was setting up passes, winning frees. So just a massive Trojan effort from everyone.
Yes, well, it is time for the semi-final draw. As you can tell by the shorts, I forgot that I was on TV today, but dressed very well as Ken, and he's about to do the draw, the chairman of the CCCC. And we know that in the hat are Nafina, Ballyboden St Enda's, Kilmacud Crokes are out. Lucan have beaten them, so they're in the draw. And I'm going to give you one last chance to duck out now. If you haven't seen the game between Bridget's and Coola, that was played earlier on, but it is going to be showed in full on TG Cahir in or around now. I think it might have already started. Then we're going to give you the chance to tune out now and give you 3 seconds to leave the room. So it is Coola who will be in the draw after beating St Bridget's and beating them well earlier on. We're going to do the Senior A and the Senior B. We've got the trophies in place as well, and I think it's the Senior A that we are going to start with, and Ken from the CC is going to make the draw. So Ken, work away. You'll take it out of the New Ireland Assurance Cup. That is the name of the trophy. The Senior A one a little bit smaller than the Senior B. So who's first out of the hat? Ballyboden St Enda's, the champions of 2 years ago. Ballyboden, these games to be played on the weekend, of course, of September 5th and 6th. Who will Ballyboden be playing? Nafina, who got that big win yesterday, scoring 420 against Folks, who did well to get to the quarterfinals but just couldn't keep with Nafina in the second half of that semi-final. So we know who's in the other one. It's just a matter of who's out of the draw first. It is Lucan. Against Coola. Thank you very much, Ken. We'll get the Senior B draw in just a minute or two, but Owen, what do you make of those semi-finals? We'll start with Ballyboden against Nafina.
Yeah, very excited once the names came out of the hat. You realised how competitive these two games are going to be. Ballyboden and Nafina are probably two stories of youth versus experience. Ballyboden have such key players like Conal Keeney, Simon Lambert, lads that have been around a long time, whereas Nafina have been a team that's been building over the last couple of years and have massive underage experience playing for Dublin, and sprinkled with lads like Shane Barrett and Donald Burke who seems to be absolutely on fire at the moment. So a great matchup. Who would come out of that, it's anyone's guess. This is a much more even playing field than probably both teams have come across so far.
Okay, let's get the Senior B draw. The Senior B draw about to be made now by Ken, and the Robbie Cook Perpetual Trophy. So who's out of the hat first at the trophy? Kilmacud Crokes, just gone out of the Senior A Championship but still in the Senior B, and they have a semi-final to look forward to, but who is it going to be against? Coola. Crokes and Coola, good old rivals from near enough to each other. Coola on for a double in the Senior Championship. Nafina. Who will Nafina play in the semi-final? Nev Fiumbara. Thank you very much, Ken. So that's the draw for the Senior B Championship. Coola on for a double in the Senior B Championship. And there's a lot of guys in that Senior B panel who want to prove their worth, and maybe that's what it's about for a lot of the guys in the Senior B Championship. They want to show they can play at Senior A. Crokes against Coola, that's going to be a big game. Yeah, and it just shows the strength of these clubs that they can have teams out in the first and second division team and compete at the final end of it. Finbars are probably the team there where it's their first team out, and they'll have Trollier, and he'll be looking to try push Finbars all the way. They have probably had relatively little success going forward, but they're a team with Jared Dodgel and lads like that have been grown. So again, two exciting games, and who would win, it'd be very tough to call. Okay, well, you can catch the action on Dubs TV. We're back during the week, by the way, with the Football Championship. Raheny against St Oliver Plunkett's Own Row. Bit of business to settle there because there's still a spot in the quarter-final up for grabs, and that's a kind of a three-way jam between Castleknock, Plunkett's, who can still go through having lost 2 games, and Raheny, who if they win or draw, they will go through. So that's Wednesday night. It is live on Dubs TV, and we're back next weekend for the quarterfinals in the football. The quarterfinal lineup, of course, will be settled during the week. My thanks to Owen O'Donnell and all the guys who put this all together. My thanks to Ken, who just did the draw there. And if you're a Lucan fan, no doubt you are smiling, but you've got a tough semi-final. You'll think about that maybe in a couple of days, though. Right now it's time to celebrate responsibly and socially distant and all that. The win against Kilmacud Crokes, a big day in the life of Lucan GA Club, and Lucan Sarsfields can be happy about their win up against Kilmacud Crokes in the Senior A Championship. The quarterfinals this weekend, 3 of them not living up to their billing. 1 of them did, but Owen, I think it's fair to say they're going to be good semis. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the majority of the 3 semi-final, the quarterfinals, have been very poor in standard, but the teams that have progressed, Ballyboden and Fino, will have a right cut off each other.
Then in the other side, I'm going blank here. Who's it? It's
Ballyboden and Nafina. That means it's
Lucan
against
and
Lucan.
like today, Lucan's backs were phenomenal. They were really, really on top. And the question before them was, were they going to be able to contain a very strong Kilmacud forward line? And like Kilmacud, Coola's strengths are their forward line. And Con didn't play today. They'll be looking to get him back. David Tracy was very good today. Lads like that. So if they can crank down on them like they did today, another exceptional performance. But like it'll take a lot of energy to compete with Coola.
Well, for Crokes, their energy is drained. I can see them off camera just having a chat amongst themselves. This most bizarre of years is over for them, but it's not over for Lucan, who'll march on, and I think their win is the win of the weekend. My thanks to Owen O'Donnell, but thanks to you for watching. Keep an eye on the Dublin GA social media channels for all the latest in fixtures and the games that we'll be showing you on Dubs TV. As I say, we're back on Wednesday night with the last of the first round games from the Football Championship, and there is some big business to do there. If Raheny win, they will go through. If Plunkett's win, it becomes somewhat more complicated. You can check out the detail on @DubGAA official. That's where you'll find us on Twitter, and of course you can check out the website as well. From everyone in Parnell Park, it is goodbye.